chromosomes have DNA in them as genetic material. What do DNA do? DNA controls the cell activities and inheritance of the characters. DNA controls the cell activities and it gets the. And then Robert Brown, who discovered the nucleus, and then we have seen in advancement of microscope. Then Sheldon, the botanist, what did he tell? That all plants are made of cells, and the Swan zoologist said that cell wall is unique to the plant cells. Virchow gave a statement which is omnis cellulae e cellulae, that states that the new cells come from the previously existing cells. So let us now see an overview of a cell. So first, to have an overview, we need to observe the cells. We should observe the cells. So we take an onion peel cell and also a human cheek cell for our observation. So the onion peel cell will tell about the descriptions of a plant cell, and a human cheek cell is a very great example in describing the animal cells. So these will help us to understand the basic cell structures and the difference between a plant cell and a animal cell. So coming to the basic structure of a plant and animal cell, when you see an onion cell, in an onion cell you see there is an outer boundary, and you also see a thin membrane like structure that is present just inside the outer boundary. This thick outer boundary is called as the cell wall, and the next membrane that is present immediately inside is called its cell membrane. So in a plant cell you will have a thick cell wall like this. Okay, so inside the cell wall you will have another layer. This is our cell membrane. The inner side one is called our cell membrane, and the outer cell wall is you also seen that the cell wall, presence of cell wall, is the unique feature of a plant cell. Next, looking at a human cheek cell. So in the human cheek cell you see that there is no cell wall. There is no cell wall in the animal cell, and we have only the outer boundary. So when you remove this outer cell wall here, when there is no cell wall present, so what is the next membrane that is present? That is the cell membrane. So in a plant cell the outer boundary becomes the cell membrane. Cell membrane is only the outer boundary that is present in the animal cell. So the key difference between a plant cell and the animal cell is the presence of cell wall. So presence of cell wall is the key difference between a plant cell and a animal cell. Here in the picture you can see the difference between a plant cell and an animal cell. Here in the plant cell we have the cell wall here. The outer layer is our cell wall, and the inner layer that we have is our cell membrane. Coming to the plant cell, we have no such outer covering. The outer covering is just the cell membrane. After the cell wall and cell membrane, we will next observe a structure that is called nucleus. So nucleus is present inside the cell membrane, and it is a membrane bound structure called nucleus. So inside the cell we see a membrane bound organelle. Okay, this organelle is called as nucleus. So what do this nucleus contain? Nucleus majorly contains chromosomes. Nucleus contains chromosomes, and these chromosomes contain DNA. Chromosomes have DNA in them as genetic material. What do DNA do? DNA controls the cell activities and inheritance of the characters. DNA controls the cell activities and it gets the inherited characters from the pre-existing cells. So based on the presence of membrane bound organelles, we differentiate cells into prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. Coming to the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells, see, in the eukaryotic cells we have membrane bound nucleus. So when a cell contains a membrane bound nucleus, it is characterized as a eukaryotic cell, whereas in the prokaryotic cell we have no membrane bound nucleus. Okay, so example of a eukaryotic cell is our plant cell and animal cell. All the plant cell, animal cell, protist, all these comes under the eukaryotic cells only. Remember, we have studied in the biological classification, the kingdom Monera comes under the prokaryotic cells, which majorly contains bacteria. All the bacteria will come under prokaryotic cells. Prokaryotic cells have no membrane bound nucleus. Eukaryotic cells have a membrane bound nucleus. So after the nucleus, in the cells after the nucleus, we next observe the cytoplasm. So what is the cytoplasm? Cytoplasm is a semi-fluid substance that fills the cell. So when you have a cell here, inside the cell we have a semi-fluid like substance that is filling the whole cell. This fluid like substance that is present in the cell is called our cytoplasm. This cytoplasm is present both in prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. It is present in both prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Cytoplasm is the main site of metabolic activities. Cytoplasm is the main site of metabolic activities. Major activities and reactions, all of them will occur in the cytoplasm. All important chemical reactions mostly occur in the cytoplasm. Okay, so after the presence of nucleus and cytoplasm, we will next see the cell organelles inside a cell. So coming to the cell organelles, eukaryotic cells have membrane bound organelles. So what happens in eukaryotic cells? We see membrane bound organelles, whereas in prokaryotic cells lack membrane bound organelles. Prokaryotic cells lack membrane bound organelles. What are the membrane bound organelles that are present in the eukaryotic cells? Eukaryotic cells have an endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, lysosomes, mitochondria, and then microbodies, also vacuoles. So all these are membrane bound organelles that are specially seen in the eukaryotic cells, but no such organelles are present in prokaryotic cells, as prokaryotic cells lack membrane bound organelles. After the presence of nucleus, cytoplasm and cell organelles, we also see the presence of ribosomes inside a cell. So now let us see what are these ribosomes. Ribosomes are non-membrane bound organelles. Ribosomes are non-membrane bound organelles. So as they are non-membrane bound organelles, we see them both in prokaryotes and eukaryotes. They are present both in prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. That is, it is present in all kinds of cells. Ribosomes are present in cytoplasm. We see ribosomes in the cytoplasm. They are also present on the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Even in the endoplasmic reticulum also we find some ribosomes. They are also present inside the mitochondria. Along with that, they are also present inside chloroplast. They are also present inside the chloroplast in plant cells. Chloroplasts are not seen in animal cells. They are seen inside the plant cells. So in all these locations you can find the ribosomes. So why do we find ribosomes? What is the major function of ribosomes? That is, ribosomes perform the protein synthesis of the cell. Ribosomes help in the protein synthesis. Okay. So ribosomes are the non-membrane bound organelles. They are present in both prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. What are the sites it is seen in? It is seen in cytoplasm, on rough endoplasmic reticulum, inside the mitochondria, inside the chloroplast of plant cells. So these ribosomes, they majorly help in the protein synthesis. So after the ribosome, the next thing that we see inside a cell is a centrosome. We see a centrosome. What is a centrosome? Centrosome is an organelle which is present only in animal cells. Centrosome is present only in animal cell, and it is a non-membrane bound organelle. What do it do? It helps in the cell division. As we see chloroplast in only plant cell, in the same way the centrosome is an organelle which is seen only in the animal cells. So these are all the things that we find inside a cell. So based on the membrane bound nucleus or a non-membrane bound nucleus, we have two types of cells, that is prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. So next we have some variation in cell size. Coming to the variation in cell size, not all cells be in the same size. We see some variations in the cell size. That is, we have the very smallest cell being our mycoplasma. Mycoplasma is the smallest cell. Its range is about 0.3 micrometer. And then we have bacteria, whose size would be near 3 to 5 micrometer. Then we have a largest single cell. The largest single cell is our ostrich egg. Okay, I think you have seen ostrich egg, all of you. It is the largest single cell. And then coming to the human RBC, it ranges something around 7 micrometers in diameter. And then we have nerve cells. These nerve cells are very long cells. Nerve cells are the very long cells. Here you can see different cells here. We have RBC, WBC, the epithelial cells. All the cells, they have very different shapes and sizes. Okay, this nerve cell is the very long cell. What is the largest single cell we have studied? That is the ostrich cell. So we have many different shapes and sizes for the cell. Coming to the variation in cells, the cells have many different shapes also. They may be disc-like we see in the RBC. In RBC we have a biconcave shape. So disc-like cells are...
Doubts stay uncleared. Hours of self-study, yet biology still feels confusing. Because sometimes you don't need more lectures, you need personal guidance. At Crack Mentors, students get live personalized online one-on-one biology classes with dedicated faculty support, personal doubt solving and focused improvement strategy.